All right, it is now 8:30. We are on the record. We are live streaming on YouTube. We have Miss Santini for the state on the telephone. Miss Hall is here for the public defender's office. Good morning, folks. You all are here for an arraignment.
And Your Honor, for the record, Lawrence Rabb is also present representing the state with Ms. Santini.
All right, thank you. When we call your name, we will advise you of the charge pending against you. And you will enter a plea. When you enter a plea, you have three options: guilty, no contest, or not guilty. If you want to accept the offer made by the state, then please read a plea form before we call your name, and then enter a plea of guilty or no contest. If you do not want to accept the offer, then enter a plea of not guilty. All right. There's somebody you want to take first? Here, here. How about here? Who do you have? Good morning.
Representing Ulrich Newman, N-E-U-M-A-N-N. He's not on the docket, Your Honor. I spoke to Deputy Supervisor, Deputy Senate, issued a criminal citation, promised to appear for expired driver's license over 6 months.
Do you have a case number by chance?
The clerk has not generated a case number, but I do have a citation number.
I can't use a citation number. Okay, so what's happening this morning?
I wanted to know the promise to appear was today at 8:30 at arraignment, and I did contact the sheriff's office. They emailed her to send in information on this criminal citation, and last time I checked, it wasn't done, but I wanted to appear as possible to see if the clerk could generate a case number without it falling through the cracks and not getting noticed and warrant being issued at a later date.
Madam Clerk, do you know anything about this case? You said cannot, right? Yeah. Have you filed have you filed a notice of appearance along
I have one prepared, Your Honor, without a case number,
Okay.
but with the citation listed on there.
If you were to go to the clerk's office desk, would they be able to give him a case number? You may have to go to the clerk's office or their desk and talk to them about it. I think if you were to file a written plea of not guilty waiver of arraignment, there should be no bench warrant issued. And your client's not on my docket this morning anyway, so there's no chance of me issuing the bench warrant because she's not even on my radar. Madam Clerk, do you think that's the best? Go to the desk and see if they can give him a case number, and then you can handwrite the case number on your pleading as you file it. But I don't see any Newman, so I can tell you I won't be issuing a bench warrant for your client today. Okay. But I appreciate you coming in an abundance of caution. That makes sense. So I understand. All right. Yes, sir. Okay. Madam Clerk, do you know the folks who are here? Have any of them been sworn in? Can all of you please stand up? Raise your right hand to take an oath. Okay, please be seated. So anyone coming in now, we've got to separate because these people just took an oath. This gentleman did not. Y'all can be seated. Okay, in the front row, gray shirt. Come on up. What is your name? Front row. They're together? Okay, both of you. What is your name, please? Angel who? Angel what? What's the last name start with? B. Sir, can you spell your last name for me, please? B-A-Q? I don't have you on my docket. Do you have a case number by any chance? This says Varela. Okay, Madam Clerk, case number is 20 CT 2386. This does say arraignment today at 8:30. And then it says canceled arraignment because the state null pros the case. Ms. Santini, can you confirm that? Do you need the case number again?
Yes, please.
20 CT 2386.
Yes, Your Honor, that is correct. It has been no problem.
Case has been dropped. You're free to go. Thank you both. All right, next, you can come on up. What is your name, please? Last name again? With a G? Your last name? Oh, Curvinson Badir? 20 MM 2113 with Miss Hall. You need the case number again or the name? All right, sir, this is a resisting without violence. You applied for the public defender. You do qualify for the public defender. Miss Hall is a lawyer. She works in the public defender's office. So she's been appointed to represent you, and she will plead not guilty on your behalf so that she has time to look into the case and work with the prosecutor for you. You understand all that? Okay, Madam Clerk, is there another court date for Mr. Badir? You'll get a notice right over here, sir, and then you're free to go. Thank you. In the tie. Good morning, sir. Good morning. What is your name, please? Joseph Stevens. Mr. Stevens. Joseph Stevens, 20 CT 2585, driving on a suspended license. What's the status of your license now? Okay, great. So the ball is rolling. It sounds like you're trying to get one back. And I want to give you time to do that. So I think what you should do today is enter a plea of not guilty, and then we give you another court date, and then you come back with a valid driver's license. The prosecutor's on the telephone, and I think the resolution will probably be more favorable to you once you have that license. Okay, so are you pleading not guilty today? Okay, another court date for Mr. Stevenson, please. Ms. Stevens, sorry. All right, sir, you can get your notice over here, and then you're free to go. Thank you. Yes. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor.
What is your name, please?
Alan Hedrick.
Mr. Hedrick. Ms. Santini, this is 20 CT 2590. Mr. Hedrick is charged with driving on a suspended, so same question. What's the status with your driver's license?
I have 2 holds in Pennsylvania. I haven't been able to get in contact with anybody at the DMV. There are 2 letters, so I'm actively pursuing that because everything in Collier County is paid. All my fines in the state of Florida are paid, but I do not know what these 2 holds in Pennsylvania are. That's the only thing to stop me from getting my license back.
Okay. Well, it's good. It sounds like you've looked into it. You know what you need to do. So same thing I just explained to Mr. Stevens. You want to enter a plea of not guilty?
Yes, sir, not guilty.
Okay. So Ms. Santini, this is Mr. Hedrick, 20 CT 2590. He's also pled not guilty. Why don't you stay there until we finish with Mr. Stevens, and then you can move over here to get your notice, okay? Okay. In the very back, please, you can come forward. What is your name, please? Mr. Rivera. Is there something before the Rivera? I don't see that now. Clerk, do you see a Rivera Soto? Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
Do you happen to have a case number? This is a notice to appear, the agency report number, no case number from us. Mandatory court appearance, January 21st at 8:30 for an arraignment. And it looks like it's hyphenated, Rivera hyphen Soto. Clerk, if I give this to you, is there a way for you to search for it? I don't see a case number though.
Your Honor, what's the agency report number?
I don't have it anymore.
Oh, okay.
I just gave that to the clerk. She's investigating. Do you want Miss Santini to search with that agency report number?
Yes, the
Sounds
agency number is 20-44412.
Is it Collier County Sheriff's Office?
Yes.
-444-134.
Everybody sit up a little straighter. I'm nervous. What is going on? What brings you here? Okay, fantastic. Good morning. You as well. I'm sorry, I missed your last name. Can you spell it for me? For sure. All right, very good. Well, it's very nice to meet you. You gonna sit in with Miss Hall today?
Yeah, I'm here to watch it.
Okay.
Since that we missed the introduction thing, so.
Yeah, no, this is great. This is great. So, Mr. Persure, are you a member of the Florida Bar yet?
I am.
Oh, fantastic. So we can put you to work right away.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not using trial. Concern.
Yeah. All right, very good. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Mr. Darrow, thanks for coming down to introduce him. I appreciate it. You as well.
Judge, we're not finding anything either. I'm not sure if the clerk can search by the defendant's date of birth. Maybe it just got docketed under a different name somehow.
She tried that. Date of birth, last name, agency number, and couldn't find anything.
Well, then perhaps the sheriff's office hasn't submitted their notice to appear, and that's why the clerk hasn't created the case.
You think they would make it? Yeah. Okay, ma'am, we can't find your case, and it's possible that the sheriff's office hasn't sent that paperwork over to the clerk yet, so there's no file. So what we would like you to do in just a minute is go talk to customer service at the clerk's office here in the courthouse, okay? And they may be able to give you some more information, but right now I don't have anything for your son. But you did the right thing by coming in. That's exactly what the paperwork says. So you haven't made any mistakes, and I appreciate you coming in, so thank you for that. I'm sorry about the confusion, but hopefully the clerk can help you, okay? All right. Yes, ma'am. Good luck. Okay, in the front row over here, Good morning. What is your name, please? Gaspar, right? I do not have a Gaspar. What is going on here, Madam Clerk? Mr. Gaspar, is it just Gaspar or might it be under a different letter? R? I don't have a RODIS either. Do you have a case number? All right, well, we'll take what you've got and see if we can find your case. Thank you. The name, Ms. Santini, is Francisco Gaspar Rodas, R-O-D-A-S. Proof of insurance, that's a civil infraction. This one is a speeding ticket, that's also an infraction. And then, okay, there is one criminal violation, no valid DL. Madam Clerk and Ms. Santini, can you two search based on the citation number?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, it is AEBPRSE.
F is in Frank or S is in Sam?
S is in Sam.
We're not finding anything under that, Your Honor.
Madam Clerk, how about you? This says criminal violation, court appearance required 121/21 at 8:30 for no valid DL. So again, they've done exactly what they're supposed to do, and we can't find anything. Date of birth is June 26, 2004. You want this? All right, Madam Clerk is scanning these citations, and then I believe we'll send them back to the customer service desk for the clerk. Yeah. So in just a minute, I'm going to ask you to do the same thing as the previous folks, is go to the clerk's desk. They have a customer service desk, and see if they can help you, because right now we don't see your case in the file, okay? All right, good luck to both of you. Thank you. No case number. Name, though, did you get the name? Okay. All right, sir, you can come forward, please. Fingers crossed that this is actually a case. Good morning, sir. What is your name, please? Mr. Guzman? Cruz, sorry. Oh, Perfecto Cruz, I see you. Excellent. All right, Mr. Cruz is 21 CT 114. Again, this is your arraignment. Mr. Cruz, you're charged with driving without a valid driver's license. Do you have a license now?
No, sir. I'm very good. I had a good insurance. I got insurance. I had insurance that day. So I'm going to go get the I had to pay $150 just to place the
Yep.
service.
Well, I'm happy to hear that you know exactly what you have to do. It sounds like you've looked into it.
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, so do you want to enter a plea of not guilty today so that you have more time to get that license?
Yes, sir.
All right, I think that's a good idea for you. So good luck doing that. So it's not guilty plea, and his next court date will be Cruz, just sign your notice over here, sir, and then you're free to go. Yes, sir, thank you. Ma'am, you can come forward. Oh, thank you. Good morning, Miss Lopez. I don't have any Lopez. Is it possible? Gonzalez? Oh, Del Rosario? Okay, so this actually says Lopez Gonzalez Maria Del Rosario. And the case number is 21 CT 32. Ma'am, you're charged with driving without a valid driver's license. Do you have a valid license now? Are you able to get one? All right. Miss Santini, do you have an offer for Miss Del Rosario?
Yes, it's diversion or withhold $150 fine at all costs.
Ma'am, I'm going to explain your options to you, okay? You're eligible for the diversion program. Exactly what that means to you. If you sign up for the diversion program, you will be required to do certain things. For example, community service hours. And once you complete everything you're supposed to do, the prosecutor will drop the charge. There is a cost to get into the diversion program. It can be $250 or $300. It changes based on the charge. So I want you to understand it's not free. But the benefit to you, again, is that the prosecutor will drop the charge once you're done. So the diversion program is one option for you. Another option is you can resolve your case today by pleading guilty or no contest. The offer is a withhold of adjudication. What that means is I would be withholding the conviction. So you would not be convicted of the charge. You would be required to pay a $150 fine, plus court costs and costs of prosecution. And you would have 90 days to pay. Do you understand that offer? Or you can plead not guilty and hire a lawyer or apply for a public defender. And come back another day. Do you understand all of your options? Any questions? The community service hours? Well, that depends on what option you choose. If you choose the diversion program, then you would enter a plea of not guilty right now. And then as soon as you leave this courtroom, you would go to the probation office, which is here in the courthouse. And you would talk to them about signing up for diversion. And they would tell you the exact cost. I'm just giving you an estimate. It would be $250 or $300. Something like that. for the diversion program? Is that what you mean? Well, it may be more than that. Remember, I just gave you, it's just an estimate. Then if you pay that fee, you're in the diversion program. And then you would have to do what they tell you to do, which will likely include community service hours. And then when you're done, the charge will be dropped. All right, then Madam Clerk, what are court costs? $220? Okay, so if you plead guilty, then you would have to pay $150 fine. Plus $200, $220 for court costs. Plus $50 cost of prosecution. So the total is $420. You do not have to pay today. You would have 90 days to pay, and you would not be convicted of the charge. Do you understand that? If that's what you choose to do, you can plead. Is that what you want to do? All right. Do you have any questions? Are you pleading guilty or no contest? Did you read a plea form? Do you understand everything that's explained on the plea form? Do you understand that by entering your plea today, you are waiving those rights? Do you understand that your plea will be used against you in a deportation proceeding if you are not a United States citizen? Are you under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or medication? All right, I will accept your plea. Find it freely, voluntarily, knowingly entered upon a factual basis and in your best interest. Withhold $150 in costs. Okay, thank you, ma'am, and good luck to you. Accept. Mr. Rad, R-A-A-B. He's not.
Miss Creamy is with me now, Your Honor.
Oh, they've switched. They've upgraded to Miss Creamy.
Alright, Judge. Daycare doesn't open until 8 in North Naples, so it takes me exactly 30 minutes to get from there to the parking garage.
Yeah, that's okay. I understand. So we had Mr. Rad. Am I crazy, or was he here? He was here at one point.
Yeah, here for like 30 seconds.
Okay, so we had Mr. Rab, now we have Miss Cream. Okay, sir, you can come forward, please. Good morning. What is your name? I'm sorry, I missed that. Okay, under V-I-Z. Mr. Vizcaya Ramirez, case number 20, CT 2467. Sir, you're charged with failure to have motor vehicle liability insurance and failure to register a motor vehicle. Okay, so have you fixed these problems?
The following day, I went to buy that plate, to the insurance, and everything is done. I have that proof of insurance.
Okay, let me make sure the prosecutor heard you on that, okay? Ms. Santini, Mr. Vizcaya Ramirez says that he bought the car that day or the day before and he fixed these issues the next day. Can you verify that, or do you need some kind of proof from him?
I can verify it. Is there a plate number for the blue Chevrolet truck?
The blue Chevrolet truck, I can tell you that. I think it should be on the ticket. I don't know, because there was no tag.
Does he have the proof of registration with him right now?
Do you have any paperwork with you?
The truck is under my dad's name. So that truck was for me. It wasn't for me. So that day I was driving the truck, but it was my dad's truck. So I came have the driver's license and got that proof of insurance of the truck. Everything is done.
You have it with you?
Yes, but I have that picture on my phone of the insurance.
Oh, he says that he's got a picture on his phone of the insurance card, and the truck is actually registered in his dad's name.
Does the insurance card have the tag number?
I will tell you that he's handing me his phone. Give me just a second.
Okay.
I would assume it does. Year 1991 Chevy truck C1 series VIN. I've got the VIN number.
That'll work.
That's a lot though. All right, you ready? Here we go on the VIN number. 1GBDC14K, and then it's a 0, I believe, not an O. I think it's a 0. MZ214146.
Is that M as in Mary or N as in Nancy?
Mary. And this does have his dad's name on it if you can do any search under that name.
Okay, so we are showing it's registered, and as a result of that, we will announce the null process in case number 2047.
So we lost you on the audio on the really important part. Can you make that announcement one more time with the case number, please?
Yes, Your Honor. So the state announces a null process in case number 20, CC 2467.
Sir, that means they just dropped the charge because you fixed it and you're free to go. All right, yes, sir, thank you. Correct. You don't have to pay anything, it's done. Yes, sir. Steven, I was thinking maybe we were done. No, that's what, we're just getting started. No, yeah. It's Mr. Prashore. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yes.
Prashore.
For sure.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Perfect, yeah, perfect, in groups.
Spanish on this side, English on this side.
We're bringing in next group of people.
Spanish over here. English over here. Everybody has a free form? They read? Raise your hand, please.
Is this the,
Not yet.
is this the entire group? Okay, thank you. All right, folks, will you please stand up, raise your right hand to take an oath? Okay, thank you. You can be seated. You all are here for an arraignment. When I call your name, we will advise you of the charge that is pending against you, and you will enter a plea. When you enter a plea, you have three options: guilty, no contest, or not guilty. If you want to accept the offer made by the prosecutor, then please read a plea form before we call your name, and then enter a plea of guilty or no contest. If you do not want to accept the offer, then enter a plea of not guilty. Sir, in the front row, you can come on up. What is your name, please? Joshua, your last name again? Okay, come on up. Mr. Barajas, case number 20CT2004, driving on a suspended license. Do you have a valid license now? You what? You're working on it. So do you want to enter a plea of not guilty, get another court date, continue to work on that? I think that makes sense, Mr. Barajas, because if you get a valid license, this case may improve for you. It gets better. All right, so that's a not guilty plea for Mr. Barajas, and we'll give you a new court date. Yeah, don't take the plea form because we don't need that, but you are going to get a notice over here for your next court date. You can sign that, and then you're free to go. All right, thank you. Ma'am, who's in the next row? Okay. Ma'am, what is your name, please?
Ariana Velasquez.
Ariana Velasquez. Okay, case number 20MM2037. This is a theft charge. Do you plan to represent yourself or get a lawyer?
I didn't know you could lawyer, so I just looked at myself.
But it's totally up to you. It's not a matter of need, it's a matter of want. If you want a lawyer to help you, then you can hire one or you can apply for the public defender. Do you want to hear what the offer is from the state first?
Yeah.
That might help you make your decision. Okay, Ms. Santini, do you have an offer for Ms. Velasquez?
Yes, sir. Diversion or withhold, $150 fine, 6 months probation, may early terminate at 3 months. ACF, yes, sir, and then no trespassing at Walmart at 9885 Collier Boulevard, and all costs.
Is there any restitution?
Not that I see.
I'm going to convey that offer to her, and I need you to verify that, okay? Okay, so let me go over the offer again. I'll answer any questions you have about it, and then you decide. If you can either accept that today or not. You don't have to. If you choose not to, then you can plead not guilty and maybe think about getting a lawyer, whether a private attorney or a public defender, okay? The offer is a withhold of adjudication. That means I would be withholding the conviction. You would not be convicted of the charge. You would be placed on 6 months of probation. You would have all of the following terms and conditions to complete within the first 5 months, although you do have the possibility of terminating probation at 3 months if you're successful by then, so you have some incentive to get all of this done early. That includes a $150 fine, court costs in the amount of $220, cost of prosecution in the amount of $50, the milepost program, that's a program that you would actually sign up for within 30 days of today's date if you accept the offer, and no trespass at Walmart where this occurred. So that's the offer. Yeah, do you have any questions about it?
What's the program for?
It's called the ACF Milepost Program. They're going to talk to you about the negative consequences of theft. And you would have to, your probation officer would help you and tell you exactly who to contact and when to take that course. So, any other questions? Do you understand your options today? What would you like to do?
I'll accept the offer.
All right, tell me your name again.
Ariana.
Do you have any other questions about the offer that I've explained to you?
No, not about the offer, about the probation
Okay.
officer. Do I have to show up anywhere or will they contact me?
You're actually going to leave here this morning and go directly over to the Collier County Probation Office, which is on the first floor of the courthouse.
Okay.
And then they'll tell you exactly when you need to come back. So yes, you'll meet with them in a matter of minutes. Good question. Any other questions? And so you said you wanted to accept the offer. Is that true?
Yes.
Are you pleading guilty or no contest? Did you read and sign a plea form? Or at least read it?
Yeah.
All right, and when you read that form, did you understand everything that's explained on it? Ms. Santini, any update on restitution?
I double checked and the items were recovered, so there's no restitution.
All right, thank you. Ma'am, do you understand all of the rights that are explained on that plea form? Well, I need to make sure you do. They explain your right to go to trial if you want to fight this charge, your right to cross-examine or question witnesses who testify against you, your right to call witnesses on your own behalf, your right to have a lawyer there with you to help you doing these things, your right to testify on your own behalf or to remain silent. Those are the rights you have, among others, that this form explains to you, but you're waiving all of those rights by accepting the offer today because the case will be closed, so there will not be a trial. So I need to make sure you do understand all of these.
Yeah.
Do you want to go over it again, or do you absolutely understand all of the rights that are on this form? All right, do you understand that by entering your plea today, you are waiving all of these rights?
Yes.
All right, do you understand that your plea will be used against you in a deportation proceeding if you are not a United States citizen? Are you under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or medication? Theft is an enhanceable crime. If you commit this crime again, you may face higher fines, more jail time, and possibly a felony charge. Do you understand that? All right, ma'am, I'll accept your plea. Find it freely, voluntarily, knowingly entered upon a factual basis and in your best interest. Withhold $150 plus costs, 6 months probation, possibility of early term after 3, the milepost program, and no trespass at Walmart, which is 9885 Collier Boulevard in Naples. Okay, thank you, ma'am, and good luck to you. Accept. One question on my mind. Is it 98 or 6885? As soon as I get back over on it. Yeah, okay, 90. Perfect, thank you. Okay, ma'am, can you come forward, please? Good morning. What is your name? Sierra Tristan. Case number 20 CT 2603, driving on a suspended license. Do you have a license now?
I do not work in a correction license.
Okay. So do you want to enter a plea of not guilty today?
Sure.
And then we'll give you another court date. You have more time to get that hardship.
Yes.
Okay. So that's a not guilty plea for Miss Tristan. And ma'am, you'll get a notice over here with your next court date. You can sign that, and then you're free to go.
Thank you.
All right.
Your Honor, we need to reassign this case to Judge Provost.
All right, Madam Clerk, Ms. Tristan's case is reassigned to Judge Provost. Again, that's 20 CT 2603. Okay, whoever's first over there, closest to me. All right, good morning. What is your name, please? Clavijo. Alvaro Clavijo Lopez. All right, case number 20, CT 2616. Sir, you're charged with driving without a valid driver's license. Do you have a valid license now? Are you able to get one? Miss Santini, what's the offer, please?
Diversion or withhold in all costs.
Okay, I'm going to explain the diversion program to you and to you ladies as well. If you're eligible for the diversion program, then you would pay around $300 to get into the program. And then you would be required to do certain things. For example, community service hours. And then once you complete the list of things you're supposed to do, the prosecutor will drop the charge. That's the diversion program. Mr. Clavijo Lopez, you are eligible for that program. So that's one option for you. Do you understand that option? You have another option. If you wanted to resolve your case today, you could plead guilty or no contest. The sentence will be a withhold of adjudication, which means you would not be convicted of the charge. You would have to pay court costs in the amount of $220 plus cost of prosecution in the amount of $50 for a total of $270. You do not have to pay today. You would have 90 days to pay. So that's another option. Do you understand that option? Or you could plead not guilty. What would you like to do? All right, do you have any questions? Did you say payment plans? That's with the, you can set that up with the clerk of courts here in the courthouse. Any other questions? And you said you are accepting the offer by pleading guilty? Did you read a plea form? Do you understand everything that's explained on the plea form? Do you understand that by entering your plea today, you are waiving all of those rights? Do you understand that your plea will be used against you in a deportation hearing if you are not a United States citizen? Accept. Did you say yes? Are you under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or medication? All right, sir, I'll accept your plea. Find it freely, voluntarily, knowingly entered upon a factual basis and in your best interest. Withhold and costs. Thank you, sir, and good luck to you. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, in the green, can you come forward, please? Good morning, ma'am. What is your name, please? All right, and I do see you here, Lourdes Martinez Lopez. 20 CT 2625. Ma'am, you're charged with driving without a valid driver's license. Do you have a valid license now? Are you able to get a license? Miss Santini, what is the offer, please?
Please hold at all costs.
So I'm going to explain the offer to you, and then you can accept the offer or not. It's completely up to you. Do you understand that so far? The offer is a withhold of adjudication, which means you will not be convicted of the charge. You will have to pay court costs in the amount of $220, costs of prosecution in the amount of $50, for a total of $270. You do not have to pay today. You would have 90 days to pay. Do you understand that offer? Do you have any questions? Pardon? There is no jail. It's just the costs. Do you have any other questions? Accept. Do you want to accept that offer? Yes, you can plead not guilty, and then we'll give you another court date, and you can come back by yourself, or you can hire a lawyer, or you can apply for the public defender. So you can. You want to accept the offer? Are you pleading guilty or no contest? The option is... Sure. Oh, sure. Is that AZT? AZT? Including Spanish then. So when you say both, you mean Spanish? That so far? So the first option is you can plead guilty or no contest. The sentence would be a withhold of adjudication. That means you would not be convicted of the charge, and you would have to pay $270 within 90 days of today's date. No probation, no jail time. If you want to accept that offer, then you would plead guilty or no contest. Either one would be fine. If you do not want to accept the offer, then plead not guilty. Do you understand all of that? All right, did you read a plea form? Do you understand everything that's explained on it? Well, do you understand that you have the right to a lawyer? You also have the right to take this case to trial, and the prosecutor would have to prove this case beyond a reasonable doubt. But there will not be a trial if you accept the offer today, because the case will be over. Do you understand that? Do you understand that your plea will be used against you in a deportation proceeding if you are not a United States citizen? Are you under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or medication? Ma'am, I'll accept your plea. Find it freely, voluntarily, knowingly entered upon a factual basis and in your best interest. Withholding costs with 90 days to pay. Thank you, Ms. Martinez Lopez, and good luck to you. Ma'am, can you come forward, please? Good morning. Ma'am, what is your name? Maria Rosales, case number 21 MM93. Ma'am, you're charged with 2 counts of violating FWC regulations. Okay. All right, well, I'm going to tell you what the offer is. We don't need to talk about the facts of the case. I'm going to tell you what the offer is, and then you decide if you want to accept it or not. Ma'am, I don't want to talk about the hold on. Ma'am, I don't want to talk about the facts of the case.
No.
He's hard. Okay.
I can't hear very well.
Okay. Give me just a minute. I'm going to talk to the prosecutor. Miss Santini, what's the offer, please?
Your Honor, we do not have an offer yet. We're reaching out to the arresting officer for the report, so we would ask to roll this 2 weeks to the next arraignment date, please.
Or she could plead not guilty and we can move it further on down the line. Okay, ma'am, the prosecutor is still investigating your case. So you can enter a plea of not guilty today, and then we will give you another court date. Do you understand that? She is not guilty. Okay, so that's a not guilty plea, Madam Clerk. Ma'am, do you want the public defender to help you?
If it's possible, yes.
It is possible, but you have to apply for one.
Es posible que usted tiene que solicitar los servicios de uno.
And I would like you to do that today.
Yo quiero que lo haga hoy.
So when you leave this courtroom, I want you to go ask somebody where to apply for the public defender.
Cuando salga de aquí, pregunta al frente allá para solicitar un abogado de oficio.
And then you'll fill out the form.
llenas la solicitud,
and then I want you to come right back here to see me.
regresas aquí a verme otra vez,
And if you qualify for the public defender, then I'll appoint one to represent you.
si calificas, yo te nombro uno para que te represente.
Ma'am, do you understand all of that?
¿Entendió todo lo que dije? Yes, sir.
So I'll see you again in just a few minutes.
Unos minutos la veo de nuevo aquí. Enfrente.
So you can go apply for the public defender.
Now come back.
Yes, please.
Sí. Vaya enfrente. Visite y venga.
All right, thank you.
Gracias.
So, Madam Clerk, we do show that as a not guilty plea. The only remaining issue is whether I apply the public or appoint the public defender. Okay. So maybe we have another group ready. We're out of people here, Miss Santini. Madam Clerk, I've got a couple of messages I can tell you. Madison Whitman. I don't see a Madison Whitman. Oh, Wisman, with Madison Wisman, which is 20 CT 2307, contacted my office. She's unable to come to court because her roommate, because of a health issue, which I don't need to put on the record. Okay, and so 20 CT 2307 is continued, and we might need to skip a couple of cycles. Sure, we'll try 3 weeks. So Wisman has been continued. And I have another one, Pablo Vaca Arias, 20 CT 2577, pro se. I've got an email here. His cousin called and said he's in Icehold in Pompano. Won't be here.
What was that kid's number again?
20 CT 2577. Information has been filed, DUI expired DL, and he will not be here. State, what's your request in this case?
We would request a bench warrant.
Pablo Vaca Arias, and again, this was not from him, it was from a cousin. There is bond paperwork in the court file signed by the defendant indicating a condition of his appearance is, a condition of his release is mandatory court today, January 21 at 8:30 for his arraignment. So he did sign that, bonded out on the condition that he appeared today. He's not here. Madam Clerk, it is a bench warrant. On the DUI, it's $2,000 bond. On the second count, expired DL, it's actually $2,000 per count. And those are all the messages I have so far. Okay, this is the entire group out there? Okay, thank you. Will you three please stand up, raise your right hand, face the clerk to take an oath? All right, you can be seated. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Let me go through my remarks and we'll take him first, okay, and see what we can do. All right, you all are here for an arraignment. When I call your name, I will tell you what the charge is that's pending against you, and then you enter a plea. When you enter a plea, you have three options: guilty, no contest, or not guilty. If you want to accept the offer made by the prosecutor who's on the telephone, then you would plead guilty or no contest. If that's what you think you'll do, the first thing you have to do is read a plea form. If you don't have a plea form, let us know. We'll give you one before we call you up here. If you do not want to accept the offer, then certainly you don't have to. Just plead not guilty and we'll give you another court date. All right. Sir, can you come forward, please? Okay. Well, I appreciate your help on this. Sir, what is your name? Jimmy Jean Felix. And this case number is 21 CT 22.
Yes.
Sir, do you speak English?
On a little, sir.
A little bit. You're charged with driving without a valid driver's license.
Yes.
Do you understand that?
I have my driver license in college.
You have a driver.
When I was driving, I have my country driver license.
What country? Haiti. So you have a valid driver's license from Haiti.
Yes.
And you also, it looks like you have a Florida driver's license number.
Now I have.
Do you have a valid Florida driver's license?
Now.
Can I see it? Actually, do I need to, Madam Miss Santini, or can you check? Okay, I can check. He's got one with him. These are both. Okay, he's just handed me 2 driver's licenses. The Haiti, one from Haiti. I can't read that, but it looks good. All right, I can read the one from Florida, and it says.
You have it in the website.
This says this expires February 27th, so this appears valid to me. Yep, this looks like, so he has a temporary driver's license, Class E, that expires February 27th, 2021. So it was issued January 13th. So he did fix it. This looks like 10 days after the incident, although again, he does have a valid driver's license from Haiti.
Your Honor, the state will announce the no cost in 21.
Sir, your case has just been dropped. So nothing further, you're free to go. All right, thank you, sir. Very good, thank you. That was impressive. Okay, ma'am, can you come forward, please? Good morning. What is your name? Sorry, I missed it. Jennifer Quintero. All right, case number 20, CT 2610. You are here on driving on a suspended license. Do you have a valid license now?
No, I'm actually in the process of using my license in Jersey to be able to use it now.
Okay, excellent. So it sounds like you've looked into it. You know what you need to do. There are some issues in, did you say New Jersey?
Yeah, they are changing their laws up there, so I have to wait for them to reschedule me.
Okay. So the case, usually you saw what just happened with that gentleman. He fixed it, the case was dropped. I don't know that's the case for you. I don't know if the charge would be completely dropped, but I can tell you that the offer would certainly improve if you were able to get a license. So I think what you probably want to do is enter a plea of not guilty, so you get another court date, so you have more time, so you can work on that driver's license. Does that make sense to you? And is that what you want to do? All right, so we'll show that as a not guilty plea for Ms. Quintero. Once you sign your new court date here, you're free to go. All right, thank you, ma'am. Sir, you can come on up. Good morning. What is your name, please? Rodolfo Gutierrez. Case number 20 CT 2573. You are charged with DUI over 1.5. Do you plan to get a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Are you going to hire one or apply for a public defender? All right, any idea who yet, or are you just starting that process? Just starting now. Does that mask say FSU? I can't see that far. All right, good choice. All right, so you want to apply for, hire a private lawyer. So I think what you want to do is plead not guilty today, right? And then you have more time to get a lawyer. All right, so we'll show that as a not guilty plea for Mr. Gutierrez. Again, once you sign your notice over here, you're free to go. All right, thank you, sir. And we're out of people. All right, thank you. hopefully the one lady comes back. I think that was Miss Rosales, right? Oh, thank you. Miss Karimi? The decision was USF. Sorry, Miss Hall.
That's great.
I was excited about it.
Will the two of them live together, or is that not life?
They will not live together, no. They may be in the same dorm, but they won't be together. So anyway, I was very excited about that, and I wanted to share it with you.
That's great.
Yeah, thank
That's
you.
wonderful.
Thank you. So we've addressed everybody who's in the courtroom. We're checking in the hallway. Oh wow, Miss Hall's throwing daggers at your school there, Miss Karimi.
That's okay.
Yeah, you've heard it
We've
before.
come a long way in our short history.
That's true, very true. Okay, sir, you can come on up here. Good morning. What is your name, please? Hector. Hector Sanchez Lopez. Case number 20 CT 2605. And you, who is Michael Rusinko?
He's our UAA.
Oh, he's a prosecutor. Okay, thank you. Sir, you are charged with driving with an expired driver's license. Do you have a valid license now? All right. Can you raise your right hand, face the clerk to be sworn, please?
I'm sorry, I did not hear you very well.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you shall give should be the truth, nothing but the truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I swear.
All right, sir, you can put your hand down. And again, you're Hector Sanchez Lopez. This is an arraignment. The prosecutor is on the telephone. In just a minute, she'll tell us what the offer is for you. And then you decide whether you want to accept the offer or not. You don't have to accept the offer if you don't want to. Do you understand that? All right, Miss Santini, what's the offer, please?
Diversion or withhold $100 fine in all costs.
So I'll explain that again to you, okay? You're eligible for something called the diversion program. That would require you to pay a fee of $250 or $300. And then you would have to do certain things like community service hours. And once you're done, the prosecutor will drop the charge. That's one option. Another option is you can resolve the case today by pleading guilty or no contest. The sentence will be a withhold of adjudication, which means you are not convicted of the charge. You would be ordered to pay a fine of $100, $220 in court costs, $50 cost of prosecution, for a total of $370. You do not pay that today, or you don't have to. You have 90 days to pay. So that's how you can resolve the case today, or you can plead not guilty. Do you understand all of those options? Do you have any questions?
The first option is
The diversion program?
yes.
So that will require you to enter a plea of not guilty today. And then when you leave here, go to the probation
o
office
vaya a llegar al departamento de libertad supervisada
and tell them you would like to sign up for diversion.
que quiere presentarme.
Do you understand that?
Where is that?
Here on the first floor of the courthouse. You just ask somebody, where's the probation office?
Entonces, le pregunta a alguien dónde está eso. Okay.
Any questions?
¿Alguna pregunta? No.
And that's what you want to do?
¿Eso es lo que quieres hacer? Yes.
Okay, so that is a not guilty plea for Mr. Sanchez Lopez. Once you sign a notice over here, sir, you're free to go to probation. Okay, thank you, sir, and good luck to you. Non-jury pretrial. Yes, please. Ms. Santini, Ms. Karimi, have you met our new public defender, Mr. Prashore?
Not yet. We just heard about him today.
Okay, he's here. Say hi.
Hello. Hi, welcome.
So, Mr. Prashore, we've got two prosecutors on the phone. Ms. Santini is the prosecutor who's assigned to this courtroom who you'll be working with. And she's also with Ms. Karimi, who is one of the supervisors at the state attorney's office. So eventually it'll be just Ms. Santini and Mr. Prashore. Okay. And again, we're out of people, so we'll check the hallway, and we also hope for the best with Ms. Rosales, that she makes it back. Oh, great, thank you. So that she did make it where she was going. Okay, excellent, thank you. Oh, I appreciate it, thank you. The hallway is empty? Okay, very good, thank you. We do have, Madam Clerk, do we need to address the private counsel cases who have pled not guilty, or have you already addressed those? Okay, go ahead. Or do you want me to call them? So I showed two cases with Mr. Calderon. The first is Cooper Hendricks, 20mm 2105. February 15th, 9 o'clock. Can you say those? So that's both Hendricks cases. All right, so Cooper Hendricks, 20mm 2105, and Robert Hendricks, 20mm 2106.
And Your Honor, the 20mm 2106 Hendricks needs to be reassigned to Judge Nicola.
All right, thank you. So ordered. The next case, private counsel, Mr. Fayette has George Nickel, 20mm 1474. Thank you. 310 at 10. The next one with private counsel, Miss Gonzalez has Keble Price, 20mm 2023. 217, 9 o'clock. All right, thank you. Miss Roger has Alexandra Sanbone, 20mm 2102. I do see that. So Miss Roger filed her notice of appearance. State, are you requesting a continuance?
For
Sanbone, 20mm 2102.
there was a notice?
Yes, notice of appearance by Miss Roger.
Yes,
All right, Madam Clerk, a new arraignment date, please. 2 weeks, all right. And Rusinko is a prosecutor? Michael Rusinko, is that the new prosecutor you're just telling me about?
oh, yes, Your Honor, he's with Judge Brown.
Okay, so I think that's it for private counsel. Miss Rosales. She's back. This is 21mm 93. Ma'am, did you apply for the public defender? Did they tell you that you qualify? All right, I don't see it yet, Mr. Prashore, but I will appoint your office to represent Miss Rosales.
asesorar a un abogado para que ella represente a la señora Rosales.
Ma'am, you now have an attorney to help you,
Tiene un abogado que lo ayude.
and you've already entered a plea of not guilty.
Ya hará una declaración de no culpable.
Actually, the application just showed up in the file, and it does show that she qualifies. So, ma'am, once you sign a notice over here for your new court date, you're free to go.
Cuando firme la próxima comparecencia ya se puede marchar.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ok, gracias señora. Thank you.
Ms. Hall, Mr. Brashure, I know that you all have some cases, I think, still on here. Anyone you want to address? Oh, is it just Ridzik? The only one left. Okay, so actually, yes, Ridzik.
I don't know, I don't think there's been any information about that.
I don't see one. So state, we have a citation, 20 CT 2569. Mr. Ridzik is represented by the public defender. State, do you have a request?
I'll be around, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you for your help.
There's a TPR. I'll be arranging for it. I think it will be.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. You don't need a signature?
No, thank you.
You're good. All right. Thank you. Say that again, please.
There should be a citation to the DUI.
There is. Yes. Well, we can if you tell me you want to proceed on that citation. All right, Ms. Hall, I don't see your notice yet. I do see that he filed an application. He does qualify. Do you want to enter a plea of not guilty orally, or do you plan to file a written plea?
We'll file a written plea, but for now, I can send it orally.
Okay, I think that makes sense, so we don't have to repeat the arraignment. So that's a not guilty plea for Mr. Ridzik. Next court date for him. 3/4, 9 o'clock. Thank you. Well, we're out of people. The hallway is empty, I believe, although it's not quite 10 o'clock. And then we also have a 10:30 docket. Y'all want to take a recess? Is the hallway still empty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Still empty. Why don't we take a recess, and then I'll come back at maybe 10. I'm happy to, we have the 10:30, so we can't go too early. How about I come back I'll plan to come back at 10:15, although I'll be in my office, happy to come back early if anyone shows up. Is that fair? Does that make sense, everybody? Okay, so 10:15 or earlier. We're in recess, Miss Santini, I'll call you back.
Okay.
Thanks, bye-bye.
See you later.
All right, good morning again. We have Ms. Santini for the state on the telephone, Ms. Hall and Mr. Pershore for the public defender's office here in the courtroom. We're on the record, live streaming on YouTube, our arraignment docket. Sir, you can come on up. Are you on the docket today?
Yes.
All right, what is your name, please? Mr. Ridzik, you have the public defender, Ms. Hall. This is Mr. Ridzik. And so do you remember applying for the public defender?
Yes.
And you qualify, so a public defender's been appointed to represent you. This is an arraignment, and they've entered a plea of not guilty for you so that they can look into the case and help you with the case. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you're going to get another court date, which will give you time to speak with your lawyer, and will give your lawyer time to work on your case.
Your Honor, I would like to plead guilty this time.
You want to change your plea to guilty,
Yes.
even though you applied for a public defender?
I did, Your Honor, but I was not aware how everything worked, Your Honor, and I thought my public defender was Karen Bailey, and I don't see how I can be not guilty with the circumstances I put myself in, Your Honor.
Ms. Hall is a public defender with that. She's an attorney with the public defender's office. What she's saying is she doesn't want you to make comments like that. Like, I don't see how I could be not guilty. That's an incriminating statement. And right now, your plea of guilty has not been accepted. So your case is still pending. She's concerned about you making those types of statements that everything is being recorded, may be used against you later. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so first of all, who's Miss Bailey? You thought she would be your lawyer?
Yes.
It sounds like she's not a lawyer, so she can't represent you. She can help you in the public defender's office. So it was only a couple of weeks ago you filled out this application, and you do have the option. Your attorney who's here wants you to plead not guilty, so they can look into your case. It's ultimately your decision. I think before you make that decision, you don't even know what the offer is. You should probably hear it first from the prosecutor before you decide to accept it. Don't you think?
Yes, Your Honor. My mistake was I didn't know if the public attorney would show up. Because it took me a long time to get a hold of others, and was waiting on a reply, Your Honor.
Okay, I understand that. Well, there are actually two here. Both of these are lawyers with the public defender's office. So let me ask you a question. Do you want to hear the offer, or do you want to take your lawyer's advice and maintain your plea of not guilty? You want to speak to him first? Okay, go ahead and do that, please. We'll recall your case, sir, once you're done. Sir, what is your name, please?
Whiteman.
Pardon me?
Whiteman.
Yeah, I think so too. Did you say Walter?
Yeah.
Walter Terrazas Durantes?
Say,
This is 20 CT 2595. Sir, do you need a Spanish translator? Translator. Yeah. Okay. Have a seat, please. We're going to call a translator. This is a no valid deal. It looks like diversion is one option. We definitely need Eduardo to translate that. Thank you. Very good, thank you. All right, so we're waiting on a translator. Mr. Ridzik is out in the hallway talking to the attorneys. Madam Clerk, I know we do have some no-shows left on the 9 o'clock docket. Unless you tell me differently, I show Lysandra Alvarez still pending. 20 CT 2606. Let me make sure. I've got to check my text messages. I don't have any updates on Lysandra Alvarez. There's an order setting an order resetting misdemeanor arraignment that we mailed to her, setting it for today at 9 o'clock. That's from my office. There's also a notice to appear from the clerk's office, setting the case for today at 8:30. So she's been noticed twice to be here today, and she's not here. Again, this is Lysandra Alvarez, 20 CT 2606. Ms. Santini, what's the state's position, please? Okay. So this is a continuance to another arraignment docket. If you think that's, Ms. Santini, if you know in advance that's going to be your request, then jump in and interrupt me as I'm going through the notice. That's okay. There's no reason for me to do that unless we issue the bench warrant. Okay, Alvarez is continued. The next one, Madam Clerk, I think is still pending from the 9 o'clock docket. Victor Andre Molina. All right, that's 20 MM 1894. I'm reviewing the file for notice. There is an order in here from my office setting the case for today at 9 o'clock. It was mailed to the defendant, and it looks like it was returned unable to forward. There is bond paperwork in the court file. All right, thank you. There is bond paperwork in the court file. I'm trying to find his address, where we got that address that's on the notice. So far, I don't see it. Madam Clerk, do you have any idea where the address came from that's on the notice? Yeah, okay. You see that? Well, you're in showcase. I'm in the smart bench, so I don't have that, but I can look at the summons. I'm also looking at the bad check complaint form from the state, which has the Sierra Club address. The booking sheet. Does not have an address. I just see summons not issued on November the 20th. Oh, I do see on the summons the Sierra Club 3305, which is the same address that's on the notice. Okay, so he was properly noticed at an address that the best address we had. If he moved, it's incumbent upon him to advise us of that. And so the state's request is for a bench warrant, right? All right, bench warrant, $2,000 bond. Okay. Let's call Walter Terrazas Durantis, 20 CT 2595. Sir, you can come forward. Sir, will you raise your right hand, face the clerk to be sworn? All right, you can put your hand down, sir. What is your name? All right, sir, you're here on the charge of driving without a valid driver's license. Do you have a valid license now?
No, I don't have a driver's license.
Are you able to get one?
puedo que me lo hacen posible. No, he intentado, pero no he podido.
I've tried, but I'm not able to.
All right, I'm going to ask the prosecutor what the offer is for you,
Voy a preguntarle a los cuerpos que son ofertas.
and then you will decide whether to accept the offer or not. Do you understand that? Okay, Ms. Santini, what's the offer, please?
Diversion or withhold at all costs.
All right, sir, the first option you have is the diversion program, and I'll explain what that means. First, it's important to understand that it does cost money to get into the diversion program. It may be $250 to $300, and then you will be required to do certain things, like community service hours. And once you're done, the prosecutor will drop the charge. That's the diversion program, and that's one option. Another option, you could resolve your case today by pleading guilty or no contest. The sentence would be a withhold of adjudication, which means you would not be convicted of any crime. You would have to pay $220 court costs, $50 cost of prosecution, for a total of $270. And you do not have to pay that today. You have 90 days to pay. That's your second option. Or you can plead not guilty. Do you understand those options? Do you have any questions? What would you like to do? All right, did you read a plea form? Do you understand everything that's explained on the plea form? Sir, do you understand that by entering your plea today, you are waiving all of the rights that are on that form? Yes, sir, $270 within 90 days. And you just signed a plea form, right? Do you understand all of the rights that are explained on that form? Do you understand that by entering your plea today, you are waiving those rights? Do you understand that your plea will be used against you in a deportation proceeding if you are not a United States citizen? Well, and I'm just explaining that's a possibility. If the federal government chooses to start a deportation proceeding against you, then they will use this plea in that proceeding against you. Do you understand that? Are you under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or medication? All right, sir, I will accept your plea. Find it freely, voluntarily, knowingly entered upon a factual basis and in your best interest. Withhold of adjudication and all costs. Thank you, Mr. Terrazas Durantes. And good luck to you. Thank you. Accept. done that TPR hearing already?
They are about to start, yeah, they're
Oh.
starting, but, you know, I have to come back here whenever I'm needed.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it.
Go over that.
Yeah. You're in high demand. All right, Ms. Santini, there are no other defendants in the courtroom. Mr. Ridzik is still out in the hallway talking to his attorneys. So let's go back to some of our no-shows. Madam Clerk, I think the next one from our 9 o'clock docket is Gretchen Cottle, 20 mm 1962. And I see an entry here that says canceled arraignment today due to order granting continuance. This is, okay, so Judge Brown already signed an order granting this motion. Okay, previously continued. All right. How about Giordani Dominguez, 21 CT 35? You show that one still pending? All right. There is a citation in this court file that was signed by the defendant, which indicates mandatory court today, 121 at 8:30 for. Okay, thank you. So, Madam Clerk, this will be a continuance to another arraignment docket. Always clear. Thank you. All right, we've got some 930s that we can address. Kevin Dry-Melvis, 20 CT 2470. Order resetting misdemeanor arraignment. Well, that was from my office that reset it today at 9:30.
We'd ask for a bench warrant.
All right, the DWLSR was null prost. You did file for financial responsibility. So he received my notice. And there's also a notice to appear from the clerk's office for today's date at 8:30. That was mailed to the defendant, not returned. The address on the notice from the clerk went to the same address on his motor vehicle record and the same address that's on the citation. So the request for a bench warrant is granted. It's a bench warrant $2,000 bond. I thought one of them was null prost. I think count 2 DWLSR was null prost. Was I imagining that?
No, Your Honor, that's correct.
All right. Oh, it's listed under the minutes. It says notice to clerk instead of notice of null prost. Okay, so it's 2,000 for the one remaining count, and that was Drive Belvis. Okay, next one I show for 9:30 is Dequan Dunham, 20 CT 2617 Dunham. Order resetting misdemeanor arraignment to today, Thursday, 1/21/21 9:30. This was mailed to the defendant on January the 4th. In addition to that, there's bond paperwork in the court file signed by the defendant indicating mandatory court today, 1/21/21 at 8:30.
We'd ask for a bench warrant.
All right, so he was on notice and he's not here. Madam Clerk, this is a bench warrant, $2,000 bond. On the 9:30 docket, Anthony Dunlap Alston, 20 CT 2468. Driving on a suspended second. I have a note here that says canceled misdemeanor 121 based on previous continuance. There's an order in here granting defendant's motion to continue. this 2-page order continuing it. Is there a date in there somewhere? Continued to January 28th. Do you show that, Madam Clerk? So Anthony Dunlap Alston has previously been continued to January 28th for an arraignment. You see that order?
I don't have those copies.
Oh, that case is already off yours. Okay, got it. Ms. Hall, you have Michael Ridzik, 20 CT 2569. What would you like to do?
Would it be possible that the state attorney can tell me that?
Sure. Ms. Santini, we have Mr. Ridzik back, 20 CT 2569. DUI over 1.5. Do you have an offer for him?
Yes, sir. Adjudication, $1,000 fine, 12 months probation, no early termination, 12 months driver's license suspension, substance abuse evaluation, follow recommendation, random testing, no alcohol, 50 community service hours, DUI school, 10 days vehicle impoundment, victim impact panel, 6 months of ignition interlock, and all costs.
Thank you. Ms. Hall, did you get that?
Yes, Your Honor. We want that person.
You agree? Okay, so that's a not guilty plea for Mr. Ridzik. Once you sign a notice for your next court date, you're free to go. Thank you. All right. So we are back to our no-shows. Madam Clerk, I'm sorry, are you done with that one? The next one I show is John King, 21 MM41. Jail arraignments tomorrow. Very good, thank you.
And Your Honor, for that one, it needs to be reassigned to Judge Provost.
All right, John King is reassigned to Judge Provost.
Sorry.
Wow, that sounded painful.
I got my mouth.
All right. On the 10 o'clock docket, I show John Norelia pending, 20 MM 2126. Still pending, reviewing the file for notice. There's an order rescheduling the arraignment to today at 10 o'clock that I mailed to him on the 4th. No indication that it was returned. There's bond paperwork in the court file that's signed by the defendant, indicating mandatory court today, 1/21/21 at 8:30. So in actually 2 of those, he signed, he was on notice, and he is not here. Request from the state.
Bench warrant.
All right, it's bench warrant, $2,000 bond per count. Next on the 10 o'clock docket is Gregory Panis, 20 CT 2599. Panis. Reviewing the file for notice. There's an order setting misdemeanor arraignment that I signed and mailed to him on January 4th, setting it for today. Yes.
You do renotice.
All right, thank you. Madam Clerk, Panis is continued, please. Next, I show Marie Rabel pending. Rabel, R-A-B-E-L, or Rabel, 21 CT 33. Reviewing the file for notice. There is a notice to the clerk, again, and with the disposition. Amended charge, DWLSR.
We can renotice this.
All right, Marie Rabel also continued.
And also, he needs to be reassigned to Judge Adams.
All right, Rabel 21 CT 33 is reassigned to Judge Adams. Thank you.
Your Honor, could you hold on 1 second on that case, because the sharing of the court date with Judge Adams, maybe we should just move it there.
Sure.
She's represented by the Public Defender's Office as her lower case number. And she has court set January 25th at 9 a.m. with Judge Adams, so maybe we can move this case there.
Is that an arraignment?
It's a non-jury trial, pre-trial conference.
Well, have they filed a written plea and a waiver? She's got to either have the arraignment or she's got to waive it. that date?
January 25th at 9.
Okay, yeah, somebody's got to let him know that she needs to be arraigned. I'm fine with the date and time as long as they do that. Somebody's got to let the judge know.
Yes, Judge, we'll put a note in the file.
Okay, thank you. Madam Clerk, you need some time on that one? Okay, Aaron Washington, 20 mm 2012. Reviewing the file for notice. Oh, he's on the jail arraignment docket? Okay, yep, let's please move him to the jail arraignment docket. This is Aaron Pavi Washington. Set for tomorrow, jail arraignment docket. And I believe the last case we have this morning is Joseph Winnesinger, 20 mm 1543. And I'm reviewing the file for notice. There is an order setting it for today at 10 o'clock. Looks like that was returned, unable to forward. That was the clerk's notice, which also went out for today's date at 8:30. That was returned. I don't think my notice was returned. I don't see that. Looks like my notice went out. I don't see a return on that, so he was noticed to be here at 10 o'clock.
Your Honor, previously had a bench warrant, so you would be asking for another one today.
All right, thank you. See that a bench warrant issued October 15th based on FTA for an arraignment. And we still haven't had the arraignment. Booking sheet served on the arraignment, on the bench warrant. Address on the notice from the clerk's office was mailed to the same address that's on the booking sheet for the previous bench warrant. It's also the same address that appears on the original booking sheet from Naples PD. So the clerk's office sent their notice to the last known address from the defendant. It was returned, unable to forward. Of course, it's incumbent upon him to keep us posted when he moves. In addition to that, my order setting it for today at 10 o'clock was not returned. So he was properly noticed. He's not here. The request from the state is another bench warrant. It is a bench warrant. $10,000 bond. All right, and I believe that completes our arraignment docket. Is there anything further to come before the court? Madam Clerk, we good? Miss Santini, we good?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Pershore, we good?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, then we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Have a good one.
You too, thank you. Bye-bye. Madam Clerk, are you here for infractions at 11? All right.